Anthony Hartwig here. I'm a special presentation of kind of a South Range softball. We could call it a player profile. We could call it Legends of the Past. Whatever you want to call it. We're joined by Kerrigan Young and now used to be Kerrigan Yannick when she played for South Range. Kerrigan, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
You got it. We got you on because South Range is heading to state, and you were a part of the first South Range softball team that went to a state tournament. And my first question for you is when you reflect on that season in 2016, obviously it was a big year for South Range. The soccer team went to state in the fall, and this athletics program was starting to really build a lot of momentum. Going to state your junior year in 2016, what was that season like for you? Now we got two of you.
Am I back in? It knocked me out for some reason.
I didn't know it even knocked you out. I couldn't tell. You there?
Yep, I'm here.
All right. Did you hear the last question?
I did not.
Okay. So basically, what I want to ask you about first is just the 2016 season to go into state and what it was like for you to ride that roller coaster at South Range and get this team all the way to a state tournament.
It was an amazing feeling. That's one of those things you look forward to as a young girl and building into a community. So that was such an honor to be able to do that with some of my best friends that I grew up playing softball with. So to see these girls now doing it, it's so exciting and it brings back so many great memories. And I hope that they're loving every second of it just as much as I did back in the day.
Back in 2016, the softball team wasn't, didn't come out of nowhere. The Raiders had plenty of district championships, plenty of regional appearances, plenty of talent that have come through that program. But you were the first team that took it to the next level and got it to state. And now it's been there two times since. What do you think was the big kind of momentum shift in this program in 2016 to take it from regional championship or regional appearances to a regional championship and now constantly knocking on the door to state?
I think at the time, playing with the same girls for so ever long, we knew we had the potential and we all wanted it. And I think once in 2016, I think once we made that break, it became really real for the community, for the South Range community, that this softball program can be something so much more. And honestly, we have to give kudos to the years above us. Stevie Taylor was a senior when I was a freshman, and she really set the foundation as well to work hard, to not just be okay with mediocrity and to keep pushing. And so I think once we got there in 2016, we just kept fighting for it even more. And I think the younger girls have really kept that going.
You talk about players of the past. Your sisters were also on South Range teams that were also pretty dang impressive. Madison went to the regional championship her junior year, went to the regional semifinals her senior year. You look at Dee Dee had really great years with South Range. What were some things that you leaned on them in this tournament run, in this state tournament run that you guys had in 16?
Um, Growing up, I was always, playing softball with my sisters. So having them there, and I think as soon as we started to make that run, my sister was in Tiffin at the time. She was teaching and coaching there, and she made the drive up almost every single game to be there to support me. My sister Darian was always there for me. So knowing that I had their support and that they were just as big as supporters as my parents, gave me a little extra confidence boost that I didn't know I needed.
The things that we've been asking these players a lot this week are what's the experience like when you get to a state, all the eyes turn to you. You're the last show in town, all the media attention gets turned to you. For you guys making the first trip to state in 16, what was that like from your perspective? All of a sudden, all these eyes are on you. Everyone's giving you guys all this attention because you went to state. What was that like for you guys?
It was surreal. It was incredible, but it was also kind of scary, because being a part of one of the first teams to do that in a while, all eyes are on you. So if you make a mistake, sometimes you feel like all the pressure's on you, but it's not. It's just a surreal moment, and to be able to soak it in, that's what matters. You want to live in the moment because that's kind of what brings you back to the memories, what matters.
All right, so you guys won the state semifinals and you won it in very dominating fashion. You didn't really look nervous at all. What was it like stepping on Firestone for the first time that year, or for the first time in state? I think you played on it that year earlier, if I'm not mistaken. But what was it like to step on Firestone Stadium at that stage and in that atmosphere and really just, obviously play the game you love on one of the biggest stadiums that you can find in the country?
The best way I could put it is incredible. It's an awesome feeling. When I was younger, I used to go there and watch the Akron Racers play. So even though I've played on that field in the past, playing on it for a state semifinals or state championship, it just gave it this extra edge. And I'll never forget that feeling. It was an adrenaline rush, it was nerves, excitement, it was everything. And I wouldn't trade a thing for the world.
You were in the same situation that Julie Stakowicz is in now. You're going to be in the circle for that game. You were in the circle for both. Julie looks like she's probably going to be the starter for both the way that she's been pitching. What kind of things would you tell her? Obviously, you do coach her. So what kind of things do you tell her about, this experience and what it's like to be in the circle in a state atmosphere and what she can expect out of these next two games?
I tell her, and I would tell her to just do what she knows how to do, soak in the moment, and to have fun. I think that's something I constantly am telling her, even in games, to have fun. Because when you start to put all that pressure on yourself and you can't enjoy the moment, that's when it doesn't become a game that is you're just living, and it becomes something that you're trying to force, and you can't do that with softball doesn't care if you're having a good day or a bad day.
You are back in the coaching world. You're coaching, you're helping your sister coach at Columbiana, but then you also coach this private lessons whenever people need the help. What's that been like for you to give back to the sport of softball after you've played it for so long?
I love it. It reminds me why I love softball, and seeing these girls that put in so much time and effort, and they want it, they're determined. It makes it worth it. It makes all the struggles you went through, or I went through when I was younger, frustrations, more than worth it. And to see the program and to see this community, not even just South Range, but all of the softball communities in this area are amazing. I go out and I watch some of my girls, and I watch other girls who I don't coach, and I'm so impressed. And my only thing I would tell those girls is don't give up your dreams, keep fighting for it. If anyone tells you you can't do it, use that to fuel your fire.
You've watched this South Range team, a handful of times this season. What kind of things do you see that reminds you of your team in 2016? What kind of similarities do you see in both squads, both rosters?
The tightness of the classes. Um, this senior class is, I believe there's 3 or 4 of them. At the time when I was in high school and we went to state, there was only one senior. And I remember we wanted it so bad for her. We did not give up behind her. Morgan Zoper she was just a great teammate. And when you have such a great senior class, everyone wants to fight for them. Everyone wants to make it worth the season. So that's definitely something I see. I see within them. And I mean, I think it's Maddie Dato in center field, and man, does she remind me of Felicia Gaeta. Like it's awesome. I love watching them.
Fee saved you guys in that regional championship. I'll never forget that diving catch in
And
extra innings. And
absolutely,
Maddie has saved the Raiders through her run plenty of times as well. So that's a great comparison there.
yeah,
Um,
it's awesome. I love it.
One of the things that was also the same is the coaching staff. Coach DeRose still there, Coach Farron's still there, and they've been there for a long time. Even Coach your sisters. What kind of things do you think they bring to this program from your perspective that make it so consistently good?
they bring a lot of heart. I mean, Coach DeRose and Coach Farron, they've coached both my sisters, so I've watched them from a young age. And then playing for them, it's they care a lot, and it's not just about a sport to them. They care about the girls. I have relationship with them still now. They both came to my wedding. They're coaches that I look forward to talking to. I always talk to them about previous players or current players. So they're just the type of coaches you want in a program. They build a program, they know how to make girls want it, and they deserve a win. I hope they get this state win.
I know you're entwined in a lot of other communities now with your coaching and coaching different girls, but South Range will always be home. How proud are you of just the team and being able to see the team that you led for so many years go back to state and be as successful as it is?
So proud. I coached Julie, and I've known Drew or Jamie Farron since she was younger, Kelly Zolik since she was younger. So seeing these girls accomplish what they want, it's just amazing. And my sister does lessons with Samantha Suzanne, and so to see these girls get their dreams coming true, or even if this wasn't necessarily what they thought where their senior season was going to become, it's amazing. And honestly, these girls deserve it. And to see South Range coming up, and even their younger teams, they put in so much work. I think South Range is going to be, I hope, at least a powerhouse for the next few years. And the senior class, they're to thank for it because they keep building the program every senior class. If they put in the work, they're going to make the program even better.
Anyone that looks through pictures of 2016 will never see you without the Boston Red Sox hat on. For people that aren't familiar with the story behind that or how that became a thing, we can't let an interview with Kerrigan Yannick go without talking about your lucky hat. So we got to talk about it. What were some things that led to that, and obviously you wore it all the way up into the state championship?
Yeah, so I think we were in Florida. I didn't have a visor, hat, or sunglasses. Or not Florida, Myrtle Beach. I was very ill prepared. Um, and I took my sister's hat at the time. It was a Boston Red Sox hat. I didn't think anything of it, but we were playing a really good team. I think it was like a Grove City team, and we ended up beating them. Um, and it was probably one of the best games I pitched in my high school career. So then I kind of just kept wearing it and wearing it. And I am a very superstitious person. So once I started wearing it and we kept winning, I did not take that thing off. It was so dirty. It was gross. It smelled like straight sweat. And I remember a few times some of my friends at the time, Cody Taylor, Lydia Baird, and Morgan Smith, they're like, Kerrigan, that hat is disgusting. Put on a South Range hat. I'm like, I can't. I can't. I can't give up the superstition. I got to keep going. So um, even if it wasn't pretty looking, I had it on my head every day.
It worked. It worked.
It
When you
did.
think of the relationships that you built and the teammates and the friendships that you still have long after you graduated from South Range, and then you see the relationships that are building with this program, what can you say to the high school relationships you build? Obviously, you played in college and you probably built friendships in college too. But what's special about this level and playing with the girls at a high school level that really builds friendships that do last forever?
Yeah, so a lot of those friendships, started when we were in T-ball. So for them to go from T-ball to 10U, 12U to high school, and then to still have those like friendships and be able to talk about sports still, um, it's something special, and it just really shows that when you connect with people or sports have a great way of connecting you with the people who mean the most in your life or will stay around for the longest. And just the other day, Cody, Lydia, and I were talking about Oklahoma's softball, and we still talk sports. So to have that, it's something special. And I think seeing these girls I listen to, obviously, some of the girls I give lessons to talk about college sports, and it's awesome. It makes you realize that softball is more than just a sport to a lot of girls. It becomes a second love, as some may say, and it gives you the opportunity that a lot of things don't necessarily just happen every day. And so to have softball as a second love, at least for me, has given me more than anything.
This team's playing Wheelersburg, who is the team that unfortunately ended your run in the state championship. How fired up are you that South Range gets another chance at Wheelersburg and maybe get you guys some revenge?
I'm very excited. I hope these girls come out and they are hungry for it, because Wheelersburg back in 2016, they were a solid team. I can't throw any jabs or anything, because they were solid 1 through 9 every position. So I hope these girls come out and they get some revenge for us.
All right, Kerrigan, we want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us, give us a little bit of insight on South Range's first state tournament run and how much the ripples of that team are still felt here on this program, here and now their third state tournament appearance. We thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to talking again real soon.
Thank you.